Brum, brum.
I'm a great believer in poor people's racing. In other words, dirt track racing, midget car racing. Before the war in 1936, in England, these used to race on speedway tracks, and the speedway riders hated it because it was obviously going to be more popular than them, probably. So the man who owned this car was quite a successful baker, and he bought a load of these, and he decided after the war he'd build his own track, and he built his own track, and that's it, and it's still there. I think it's called Brayfield. And I spoke to a man who, when he died, his wife gave him a great big suitcase full of stuff, and I've got to go and see that man, but I'll keep on to Susie, and she ain't done nothing, but anyway, we will go and see him. That is the same thing, but that was raced in America. And because you had to have a small engine, it was a bit difficult because everything they made in America was big. So anyway, this people, Caruso, they had a breakers yard in Hicksville. And they got an 8-cylinder Bugatti engine and cut it in half and welded it together and raced this on the ovals. So again, that's an oval racing car. And the Caruso family just did midget car racing almost continuously. And then this...
Well, this is what we're going to focus on in the video, yeah?
This is what my focus is on. This is, in America they call this a KK Offy, a Kurtis Kraft Offy. And, you know, this was the car. It was a fabulous thing, and people raced them, and made a lot of them. And this one was made in 1947, and it was raced a lot. It was even raced in the 60s, I believe. It was a Pizza Hut car. So it's got a lot of history all around it. It isn't the most original one of these you'll ever see, but it's got some serious history. And I love it, you know, because I just think that this is racing that nobody makes a fuss out of. You know, Lord Howe and Lord this and Lord that, winning at Brooklands. There was a lot of racing going on with ordinary people. Those four-wheel drive Skiros, they took one of those to America, and it was so good that they had to ban four-wheel drive, because everybody would have had to have gone to four-wheel drive. So there's a lot of history here, and not only but also, I've got another one that is called an Alto Midget, which has got a 4-cylinder, horizontally opposed, 40 horsepower, 45 horsepower, outboard engine. So we'll get that out at some stage. I always knew we'd have to do this. This is one of the reasons this car's never been started. And I've had it for years, because I knew that we'd have to go to town on it and have a good look at everything and know how everything works and check everything, you know, like make sure that cylinder's stuck, so we need to get the brakes working nicely. And we just need to look at everything and get it lovely and clean, because this is a real racing car. So, you know, we've got to do it justice, really. I was absolutely knocked out to buy it. So, you know, now's the time. So what we've got to do, we've got to organise something to push it, to start it. And I've got an old mower. And I think I'm going to go and get it back off my son because he's bought a new one. Little diesel mower. So we might have to do the head gasket. We might have to put some pieces of wood on the front. So, you know, it's a bit of a performance to get this going. Because it hasn't got a clutch. So, you know, once it's going, it's going. But luckily we've got a big field, so, you know, there's a good chance I can knock it into neutral or switch the ignition off before I got myself into terrible trouble. But I tell you what, I think I'll wear a crash helmet when I drive it, just in case. But anyway, so that's why I've decided, with the sun shining, it looks like California, this is our time to do it, and that's what we're going to do. John's going to help. We're a bit bored with doing the MG anyway, the frog eye spray. Did I hear a door?
I think it's a Susie.
Wow. I'll have to get it off.
Who wants an ice cream?
Everyone wants an ice cream whilst we film some...
What a lovely girl, eh? I'll take back everything I said about her.
Okay, right, I've got ice cream for melting in my hand. Come on.
Oh. Never say no to an ice cream, would you? Lovely.
Just one cornetto, we need the music.
I can sing it for you.
How are we getting on? Sorry, I just...
Just one cornetto, give it to me. Always put the bolts back. So when you come to put it back together, A, you haven't got to remember what they are, and B, you don't lose them. When this was built in 1949, all this stuff was probably ex-military. So they would have been going and getting Zeus fasteners that were made to go on aeroplanes, probably. So I don't recognise these Zeus fasteners, they don't look like our ones. But they do the job just as good, if not better. Well, we're going to really clean this up like a blue pin. I'm going to look at every single little bit. I'm going to work out how everything works and make sure everything works beautifully. And I've had the car for more than 10 years. And I think if the weather stays reasonable, we're going to get my mower that I used to use, that Timothy's now got that don't use, so I'm going to get it back. I'm going to put a thing on the front of it so we can push this and we're going to start it. And I think this will be the best video we've ever made. Find it here. In America, it'd be a pickup truck, you see. He puts himself on there and he pushes you. You pull the handbrake on, which skids the rear wheels.
Yeah.
So the rear wheels are skidding, and then you just go like that and put it in gear.
Yeah.
Let the handbrake off, the engine turns, and off you go.
And what speed are you doing then?
Oh, well, you only be going 30 miles, 20 miles an hour, something. And then once you've got it going, that's it. You drive out onto the circuit, and you all jockey for position. Because don't forget, you can't take it out of gear, and you can't push the clutch out. You've got no...
So you've got no clutch?
No clutch. Yeah. So then you get yourself in position, might do a lap, and then the bloke drops the flag, and that's it then. You're in hell.
So which bit are you going to focus on first?
Well, the first job is get the brakes working. Because I think the master cylinder is stuck. Which is not surprising because it's been sitting around for so long.
And you bought this in the States?
I saw it advertised in the Oval magazine. A couple of people in America I know went and had a look at it for me and said, yeah, it's a good car. It's got a proper chassis plate. It's in the, what do they call it? Kurtis Kraft book. It was a Pizza Hut car at one time, and it had bigger tyres and everything.
When you say that, it had Pizza Hut livery rather than
yeah, well,
delivering pizzas. Oh, okay.
That's a rose joint. Well, originally it probably wouldn't have had those. So
Okay.
as it got raced, it got modernised a little bit. It would have had Model A steering rods or something,
Okay.
rod ends.
And so
And
that,
then-
what's that?
That's the in-out box. That lever puts it in gear or takes it out of gear.
Oh,
and
simple
that piece
as.
of old rubber, you link that onto it to make sure it didn't fall out.
Oh my God.
Well, this is a very serious racing car.
I think it's ideal for an 84-year-old man.
Well, I'll have to be very... I'll tell you, I actually be... I won't be frightened, but I'll be very conscious. I've got to be very sensible in that. Because that is a real serious bit of kit, that.
What are you looking at there?
This is the master cylinder off of the Offy, and it's Earhart. I think they were saying to do with aeroplane brakes, because the calipers look aeroplane, but it was really gummed up, horrible. And I give it a bit of a clean. You know, this is all right. This will work. It's not brand new by any means, but I think I'd feel confident of it.
Better than you expected?
Yeah. So this is what I've done. I honed it. This old snap-on hone, which is a bit worn and a bit old. What I do is I switch that on. Put plenty of that in there. Then give it all a nice clean, and the top is held on with 4 screws,
Yeah.
and they're all odd, so I'll find some new screws. And then this bit is a bit rusty, but that's quite a nice thing. That is, sort of takes up the air space. So, you know, clean that all up. Probably get old John to stick that in the nickel plating plant. But I'm pretty confident that's going to be all right. But it's just a 5/8 cylinder. Oh no, it's a 7/8 cylinder. So, you know, I might even have some rubbers for that in amongst the stock. When I was in America years ago, David Hyman raced his Type 51 and won the race, incidentally. But anyway, I met this old boy called Hal Ulrich and his brother, and they were real old, proper American racers. And Hal had driven these, and he'd also driven lots of different things. I said, "Did you ever make Indy?" He said, "No, I was very close, but I never actually made Indy." So there you are. But anyway, on the way to Chicago, he said, "Oh, come with us," he said, because they had a camper. He said, "Follow us, and we'll call in to see a few things that you won't normally see." So he went to see the David Uihlein Museum. And in amongst it, there was a midget. But it wasn't an Offy midget, and it wasn't a Kurtis midget, but it was a lovely, proper-looking midget. And because I was with them, we was in a museum, but I was, you know, we were allowed to do anything. In fact, we went upstairs in the place, because it was obviously a typical American bloody great place, and in the roof there was a P3 Alfa Romeo racing car. And David had bought it, but it had got an engine, and one wife had got the engine and the other wife had got the car. Anyway, he managed to buy it, and in the end he bought the engine, and I think it won. I was at Hurlingham, and it won the Hurlingham concourse because it was absolutely original. Really was a lovely car, and the young bloke who restored it he hadn't made it look new. He'd done a very good job. But anyway, so that was that. Anyway, so now they say, have a sit in it, have a sit in it. So I sit in it. I've got a picture somewhere of me sitting in it. And I thought, I've got to have one of these. Now, there's no reason for me to have one, because you can't race them here. There's nothing you can do with this car. But I just had to have one, because, you know, I mean, having done a little bit of racing, I think I understand about what real racing is. And I don't think a lot of people understand what real racing is. But when you've been in the war, and you come back from the war, and you think, well, bugger that, I don't want to go and get a job, and I can earn money driving in one of these, and I can drive, and you was a bit good. You got in one of these, and if you could win, you could earn money. And not only that, if you was really good, somebody would say, why don't you drive my Indy car? And you finish up like all the famous drivers, because they all drove these, you know. And I mean, if I had a really good memory, I'd list off their names just like that.
We'll have a look at your book.
Parnell Jones and all those people.
So is that just dirt?
Yeah, that is dirt. That is, because that's when he's raced, on the dirt.
What were you saying about the
I'd like to go to Zephyr Hills, is where they have a weekend of racing midgets. And I'd love to be able to take this to America in my Sprinter van, drive across America, go to Zephyr Hills and have a little drive around. But the funny thing is, I was at Hershey, this is years ago, and I'm talking to the old boys at Hershey, and I said, I'd love to have a go in a midget. And he went, now look, son, he said, lots of our mates have been killed in them. He said, you know, you don't just jump in a midget. He said, you'd have to be a bit sensible. I said, I'll be sensible, you know. But that's how serious that was, you know, they were very serious. Oh no, you don't just do that. And I think they're right.
And how big's the engine?
It wouldn't stop me doing it though. 1.5 litre. 1.5 litre, fuel injected, Offenhauser engine, running on methanol.
Okay.
So it probably gives 150 horsepower, I think. I don't know exactly.
And it's not very heavy, is it?
No sophistication. That is just a lovely thing that does the job. You know, I mean, you can build a car today with all sorts of leery suspension, which they probably do. But I think this is the great thing about American racing, you know. They build something like this and they go racing.
And what does the WY on the front mean?
No idea. That could easily have been the man who raced it originally, the man who owned it, the man who had it made. I don't know.
Okay.
WY.
And what does this button do? Is that like a ejector seat or?
No. You press that button and it cuts the engine. So like you're in a turn and you've got your hand on the brake or something and you want to just stop it a little bit, but you don't want to lock the back wheels up, and you just touch the button and it switches the engine off. But just for a split second.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at the Grand Prix Peugeot, which is what I copied, and that's how I know about them, because I've read about them. If you look at the man in the thing, he's got a button, and I reckon when they was at Indy, they used to just occasionally just touch the button if they were going just a little bit too fast, because it was easier than put your foot on the brake.
And this doesn't have...
This does have brakes.
Oh, it does have brakes,
It's got disc brakes, but again, that would have been an upgrade. That's part of its history there. I think originally it would have just had front brakes on the back. But I don't know, because they look aircraft, so they could easily be 1949.
Right.
Going, but you need to push it to start it.
How did you get it though?
I bought it out the Oval magazine, which I used to get, like I got Sue Christmas feed, and it was advertised, and I rented it to some people in the Bugatti Club, and they went and had a look at it and said, yeah, it's a good car. And I just bought it and imported it in and did all the nonsense, you know.
No.
But I've always wanted to hear it run, but I knew that to do it, I mean, this is a serious racing contest. You don't just fire this up, you know. So I thought, well, I'm going to take the bits, learn about it, clean it all, and then we've got a little diesel mower, which is worn out. So I'm thinking of taking all the mower bits off it, putting a thing on the front so we can push
Tow
it,
it around.
and then actually get it going and driving it around the field or whatever. But I mean, you know, as I say, it's such a serious thing. I don't think you can just start this up.
No, well,
And
got to be
it's
careful
got
with the
very good.
engine.
It raced to when I bought it, but that, obviously that was 10 years ago. So I want to drain the oil out and just have a really good look at it, you know, before
Got to
we
be
do it.
careful with the engine before you run it.
But it's a, you know, it's got a long history. It was a Pizza Hut car. They reckon it won a couple of 100-mile races. How you do 100 miles on mess, I don't know, but you'd have to come in and refuel.
Indy.
The brakes don't work, so we've got to look at that. So that's it. I think I want
Is it a permanent single gear, or is it?
Yeah, no, it's an in-out box. There's no clutch.
No.
Yeah, well, that's
Probably
all
is.
Model A. Yeah.
Probably is Model A. It looks like a Model A UJ car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they used to
Cut
fit.
down torque tube.
Yeah, I think they even used to modify the box to make it an in-out box.
Well, it's a banjo rear axle, isn't it? With a quick change.
Well, it's a quick change. Yeah. I've got a load of ratios with it.
Ford pumpkin, isn't it? With a quick change.
But it would have had just a single leaf spring. But when it was the Pizza Hut car, it had wider wheels and they've made it torsion bar. You know, so it's got a bit of compliance. And obviously it's on slick, but also racing shale. So I've got 2 sets of wheels.
Because it would have had the forward transverse leaf on it.
Yeah, like a Model A. Yeah. So it's got a long history, you know, I mean, it's been modified. I've got pictures of it with the roll cage complete over the top and everything, and wheels like that, you know. And
Well,
then
they just adapt them, don't they?
and as it's got more valuable and more usable as a historic car, they've moved it back again, you know.
Yeah, so you put it back. The front end's very Model A looking, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's the same on that. I mean, I looked at the pictures very carefully when I made that.
Yeah. Well, everything of this nature started off from T's and A's,
Yes.
didn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, what was in the breaker's yard?
Yeah. Sure, what was
And the
cheap.
people who own that, the Carusos, had a very famous breaker's yard. You know, there's pictures of Bugattis with the wheels taken off laying on the floor and things like that.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Bugatti copied Miller.
Oh yeah, well they did. You know, I mean they had 2 cars sitting in the factory. And they went to, back to America.
It's a good story in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I think Miller was the man.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he was the top man. Which again, you see, although that's Offenhauser.
Well, Offenhauser worked for Miller, didn't he? Yeah.
And they reckon, see them cups in there?
Yep.
They reckon you can take them cups out, or you could get those cups and put them straight in a Bugatti.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Exactly the same. And all that is the same. It's the same. My son's got a Type 51, you know, a twin cab.
Yeah.
See, I say, oh, that's not really a Bugatti. I like a single cab one, you know.
It's interesting.
And that's quite interesting. See them 2 bolts. You want to stiffen it up a little bit to change the handling.
Push the spring down a
He
bit.
screws them down. But, you know, it obviously, you know, literally it's racing up to the day I bought it, because all that was covered in mud. And, you know.
But it's got Model A shocks on it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're working very well.
No, they don't.
You can take them off and clean them up and make them look nice. And
You
then
can refill them.
yeah, oh yeah.
I think he's got some
Yeah.
of them are refillable.
And
They're
they
refillable.
adjust here.
Yep.
But those links have got so much slack in them.
Dog bones.
Look. They ain't even
You can get the
moving,
bushes
shop
for them. You can change the bushes in those. The
Yeah?
rubber bushes, yeah. The Model A suppliers will sell
Yeah.
those.
I don't think you take them to bits though. I don't know how you do that. Yeah,
It might be special.
They
probably
call them
special.
dog bones.
Dog
don't
bones,
they?
yeah.
If you look at that, look, that's got dog bones.
Yep, they're the Model A dog bones, yeah, definitely.
You see, you take it apart and you can put
Bushes
new
in it.
rubbers in it.
Yeah.
That's got a starter motor on it because I put a gear on the back of the
spinner.
crown wheel
Yeah.
and you can jack it up and press
can
the
see that,
starter
yeah. See,
and it starts the engine. I was hoping that it would have enough power to be able to drive it along, drop it in gear and drive off, but it hasn't. But it will pull itself along. I've driven it quite, long distance with just the electric. Yeah. And that was an idea we had, but you see, the thing is now, paddocks are so crowded and everything, you can't tow cars about, they won't let you.
No, or you run somebody over.
Yeah. You must stand next to me. Let me say I'm a pave magnet.
Let me just get that again.
I say, you've got to stay close to me because I'm a pave magnet. It's not firing at all.
Doesn't like the sun.
It's dead, John, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's like sparkle fuel, isn't it?
Doesn't matter.
The Craftsman's paint man, we met him at the auction.
Oh, Adam.
And we saw him at that picnic, didn't we?
I think he's called Adam.
In his model, in his steam car. Anyway, I didn't know, but I got talking to him, and he's the man who makes Craftsman paints.
I didn't know that.
And he's a really good bloke.
Yeah.
So
I was chatting to him, he's a nice bloke.
Yeah,
Based in Cambridge.
I said to him, I said, well, I'll have to get and make a video like, and he went, I don't really like, I said, well, it can't do it any harm, because we use it, we paint gases with it, and when they're finished, they look like they've been sprayed. In fact, the people are moaning because they haven't got enough brush marks in them. So, I think what we've got to do, you see, all this black is very tatty. So when we get it stripped down enough, we'll give it all a lovely clean, and then the young Zach can rub the whole thing down with wet and dry, and we're painting.
Are you trying to drive him away?
No, I'm trying to make him realise what work's like.
You're actually lucky or unlucky I don't live a bit closer, because I'd be down here
Another
rubbing things down
one,
for you if you wanted.
Yeah. There was a man, now where was it? Which track was it? Let me think. There's Laguna Seca, it wasn't there. There's Road America, it wasn't there. There's another track that I actually raced on. Oh. Lime Rock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're all there
Connecticut.
with their DVDs, all the people, all the kiddies was there. And a bloke arrived with one of these. And they all thought, well, it's practice like, But they had a rolling start.
Beat him.
Without a rolling start, he couldn't have raced. Anyway, went out in practice, went round, said, because there ain't no gears, you see.
Yep, straight.
So he went round and he said, it's a little bit. Anyway, they changed the quick change, they changed the gear ratio, and he beat a lot of them. If you look at that wheel, that normally with Ackerman, that's turned more than that wheel. But if you look at that wheel's turned more, I reckon. So that's anti-Ackerman.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And
So it drags it round the corner.
Yeah, with my Capri, when I used to race a Capri, I altered the steering arms and it transformed it, and that had a bit of anti-Ackerman.
So it's got bigger wheels on the right-hand side, because that's doing all the work.
So that is wider and slightly taller.
So you are going that one?
Yes. Definitely turning left.
Right, what's going on here?
Well, we're getting ready to give it a clean. Let's try it that side, because it is biased, this car, so... Yeah, it's all right, John.
Oh.
Yeah,
much movement that back Scott, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's why they, they did it, because they were so solid before.
Yeah.
That would make a transformation. And the reason it's on the pitch is because obviously it's stiffer one side than the other. It's stiffer here.
Yeah, it's stiffer on this right hand side.
Yeah. Because you see, when you're going round, you're going that way all the time. So you want this side to be a bit stiffer than that side.
And that's got the bigger wheels on this stiffer side.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you say you had some other wheels for this as well?
Yeah. Big set of wheels for the tarmac. Oh, what do they call it? Shale. When they run on a dirt track. Right, so now we want to give that boy a brush and some stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, what, you're just trying to get all the dirt off?
Well, yeah, all around that engine, look. Don't want to get anything down the breathers. Do you reckon that was for, John?
Yeah, I looked at that. That's what I said to you about the engine being original.
Yeah.
What do you think what's for?
Well, there's a fixture there that's got nothing in
This?
it. Yeah. Don't know what that does.
It's almost like a different engine would have gone there.
Well, it could have had a V860, you see, at some stage.
That would have been a shaft then, that going that way, so it sort of rotates the chassis.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have thought it ever had a 60 in it, but you never know. I mean, if that engine had a good soak in over lunch, it wouldn't do any harm, would it?
No.
But what we've got to do is see them there, look. They're breathers then. That's where the engine breathes out of them, so we don't want nothing to go down there.
There's two
No,
on
I
this
think
side
they're
here.
just this side, because if we're going that way, all the oil will be rushing up that side of the engine.
Oh, I see.
So the breathers will be on this side.
So that's those two bits
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you see, we could probably find a... I knew somebody I knew where was a little private track.
Yeah.
What they raise bangers on and things. So, you know, we might be able to find that and hire it for a day or something.
Is that just as you briefed it? Well, that looks cleaner, boys.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'm going to put it in the workshop and do some work on it. I think that grapevine's going to take the world over.
There's grapes as well. No.
Yeah, because it does. It came from Greenford.
Oh, I'll tell you, I didn't know you were opening a vineyard, Ivan.
Oh.
Shed wine.
Totally.
You comfortable in there, sir?
Yeah. Not a lot of room to move.
No, well, you wouldn't want to move much, would you?
I had a Lotus 11 I used to race.
You need to feel...
Stay in now. Got
And this
intense.
lady, she said, "Can I sit in your car?" She went to get in it and she couldn't get. Her bum was too big for the seat. The accelerator pedal on this car is very interesting because it's a dead right thing. These are-
I tell you what, I'm quite high up in it.
You could
I don't know
have
what you meant to do with your
no
feet, but my knees are at the metal.
Yeah, just about.
So, Zach, how tall are you?
I'm about 6'3".
And you're in?
I'm in a midget without the bottom.
Oh, you fit that, Zach.
Yeah, I fit this one. Hopefully.